In this breaking story, Mitch McConnell was mostly alert and mostly on point today. And no, that's not the news. The news is he took to a podium and praised Ronald Reagan on one hand and took some sly shots at Donald Trump on the other. And I have the full story and much more for you next. Consider this video a three-parter. I'm going to talk about McConnell's brain glitches and show you a video and ask the question, did he have another one today? I'm going to share a breakdown of him contrasting Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump in today's speech, and that did not go well for Trump. And I'm going to have my own comparison of Reagan and Trump with words about fighting that you're not going to want to miss because half of it is very cringeworthy. The 82-year-old senator's current term may be best remembered for two brain freezes. Let's have a look at one of those episodes and look at what happened today.
Are you good, Mitch?
Okay, Mitch?
Just checking.
Anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to your office? Do you want to say anything else to the press?
So that was a bit scary, and here's how he opened his speech today at the Peace Through Strength Awards ceremony for President Reagan's foundation. I'm going to give McConnell the benefit of the doubt on that one because I played it a few times and it appears that he was waiting on the teleprompter. But I think the other two episodes should have resulted in his retirement and he should be resting comfortably these days instead of delivering speeches. But speech he did, and here's the kind words he had for Reagan, and on the other side I'll share the not so kind words for Trump.
I believe in American primacy and in the power of alliances. I make no apologies for those beliefs, and I trace them directly to the example of our 40th president. President Reagan's leadership was a source both of professional wisdom and personal inspiration to me. And I suspect the same is true of so many of you here today. Even in the climatic moments of a struggle that defined half a century, the consummate Cold Warrior spoke for posterity. President Reagan knew that the principles that guided the West's triumph were not to be discarded with the rubble of Soviet tyranny. He called our attention to the old adage that America is great because it is good. And if America ever ceases to be good, America will cease to be great.
And here's the subtle but sharp criticism he had for Trump. Turn on your decoder and have a listen.
Some now question America's own role at the center of these force-multiplying institutions and partnerships. With the party Ronald Reagan once led so capably, it is increasingly fashionable to suggest that the sort of global leadership he modeled is no longer America's place. But let's be absolutely clear. America will not be made great again by those who are content to manage our decline. So how do we turn back this tide? How do we renew a firm American commitment to peace through strength? As I take on my next role as chairman of the Defense Appropriations Subcommittee, these are some of the questions that I'll be focused on. The answers would be rooted in the centrality of hard power and the importance of alliances and partnerships, things our 40th president understood all too well. It'll mean standing with friends in need, whether they're resisting neo-Soviet imperialism in Ukraine, Iran-backed terrorist slaughter in Israel, or PRC hegemony in the Indo-Pacific. And we'll have to bring back into focus another lesson of President Reagan's leadership. and that is the link between capability and credibility. The 40th Commander-in-Chief knew that changing Soviet behavior required both the military capability to prevent or punish hostile action and the will to exercise this power and follow through on threats.
And here's my decoded version of what I think are not so subtle swipes at Trump. He went out of his way to say America made great again, followed by those who manage its decline. Is there really any doubt? And he said, standing with friends in need, Ukraine. Many have said Trump's victory may end support for Ukraine. I'm not a fan of Mitch McConnell, but I appreciate that he took the opportunity to highlight the glaring differences between Reagan and Trump, and in doing so points out how far the Republican Party has fallen in the last 10 years, something he's had a front row seat to. And for my part, I have my own contrast between Reagan and Trump. A contrast like the world has never seen before, believe me. Watch and laugh at Trump or cry for our nation at how differently they use the word fight when speaking to American citizens.
There's no argument over the choice between peace and war, but there's only one guaranteed way you can have peace, and you can have it in the next second. Surrender. Admittedly, there's a risk in any course we follow other than this, but every lesson of history tells us that the greater risk lies in appeasement. And this is the specter our well-meaning liberal friends refuse to face, that their policy of accommodation is appeasement. And it gives no choice between peace and war, only between fight or surrender.
New Trump fragrances are here. They make a great Christmas present. I've named them Fight, Fight, Fight because they represent winning. We all want to be winning. We have to win as a nation. We want to win as a family. This fragrance is all about strength and success and confidence for men and for women. Get yourself a bottle and don't forget to grab one for your loved ones too. They'll thank you and they'll even smell good. Enjoy, have fun, keep on winning, and Merry Christmas.